Hello Cancers, and welcome to your June 2025 monthly horoscope. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Justina, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today we are going to look at the most important events happening in June, and I'll tell you how they may influence your life on a deeper level. I follow Western astrology tropical zodiac, and these horoscopes are most accurate for your rising sign, also called the ascendant sign. However, you can also watch them for your moon sign or for your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and to get a wider perspective upon your life. So welcome. All right, so we start the month under a really beautiful energy. That's when Venus and Jupiter conjoin in the sign of Cancer at 25 degrees. So that's your first house, so it's a very personal influence for you here. That's on the 9th. All right, so here Jupiter, the great benefic, the planet connected to growth, expansion, abundance, connecting with Venus, the planet of relationships, finance, harmony, balance, creativity, love, romance. So it's a really, really beautiful kind of energy here in the area of the self. This could be a day of some good news, surprises, gifts, important decisions, even something enlightening, something expansive, something even that will get you closer to your goal, to your milestone, to your objective, to your dream. Maybe some amazing idea realization, for example. Maybe you're launching a project, maybe you're starting something new in your life. Maybe this could be about some opportunity that may come up out of the blue. So whatever the scenario, it's a really beautiful energy, because here we've got this lovely start of a new cycle between Venus and Jupiter. So really beautiful energy here in the area of the self. You might feel like anything is possible, or it might be just easier to reach some important goals during this time. A new moon in Gemini after, that's on the 15th at 24 degrees of Gemini. Gemini is an earth sign. This is also the sign of duality, mutable energy, which is flexible, adaptable, but at the same time the energy can be quite scattered. So at times, with a new moon in Gemini here, very often under the influence of a full moon or a new moon in Gemini, which is the sign of duality, very often we find ourselves in situations when we need to decide between two different scenarios, two different paths. So this could be the case for you. It doesn't have to be, but it could be, and that's your 12th house energy as well. So a new moon, of course, the moon is dark, and the 12th house is the house of hidden matters, your private life, anything to do with karma, anything to do with the subconscious mind as well. Retreat, solitude. Very often during a full moon or a new moon in the 12th house, we feel like being on our own or with just someone very close to our heart. And this is a time of withdrawal from the external world, influences, forces, and from the outside chaos overall. So during those moments of solitude and tranquility, this is when we can really collect our thoughts, and we often also get those intuitive insights as well. So for this reason, dedicating some time for yourself during lunation in your 12th house is actually essential. It's not just you don't have to force yourself to be alone. You're naturally drawn to withdrawal and contemplation, reflection as well. But a new one is connected to new beginnings. So something is kind of being gradually taken off the ground. You might not know yet what it is. It is connected to some kind of work from behind the scenes. It could be connected to a project you're working on. So whatever the scenario here, the energies are moving slowly during this time because they are hidden, but you will feel much more alive when we begin Cancer season. All right, so then we've got another really, really important event of this month, of this year, and that's Chiron. Chiron has been in Aries for so long that it's we forgot that actually Chiron is going to change signs very, very soon. This year, this is just a preview, so we have a little influence, a short-lasting influence until early September. Next year, it's a much greater influence. So here, Chiron in Taurus. So Taurus is an earth fixed sign connected to the material world, material security, stability, anything to do with our body. Taurus energy is connected to the throat, to the thyroid as well, to our voice. So depending on where this energy will be in your in our life. So here, this transit will be in your 11th house. And with the 11th house activation, Chiron, the wounded healer, the asteroid, Chiron is not a planet. It's an asteroid, also called the wounded healer. So here with Chiron moving here, Chiron is giving us a chance to heal any wounds for you, specifically connected to your sense of belonging within a group settings, within social environments as well. So here, with Chiron transiting this area of your life, your sense of stability, your sense of belonging, especially maybe those early experiences, unhealed emotions, they might come up to the surface. But as an adult, you will see them from a different light, different perspective, from a different stand. So here, Chiron brings a lot of healing, support, energy. Now, for those of you who have natal Chiron in Taurus, you will be going through a Chiron return, which lasts between age of 49 and 51. So here, it's an incredibly important phase of life. It's a very transformative phase of life as well. So I actually wrote a workbook. I've got a workbook about life cycles. So if you want to dive deeper, then you might want to get it if it's something of your interest. But other than that, Chiron in the 11th house is about healing wounds connected to a sense of belonging within a social group, within a group setting. It's about healing. Maybe you'll be healing a connection with someone, a friendship that perhaps has been forgotten, but maybe with someone that you fall out with a long time ago, and Chiron here is coming to heal this relationship, this connection. This could be very much the case as well. Now, Chiron here could also test your certain connections, friendships in your life, could make you question generally your belonging to certain groups, for example. And so generally this is the very short lasting influence this year. Pay attention to what comes up, to what shows up during this time. It could be very useful once this transit is more permanent from next year onwards. Now, as we move forward, we've got Mars entering Gemini, so very active, vivid energy. And Mars, the planet of action, drive, motivation, the ruler of Aries, the traditional ruler of Scorpio as well, changing signs. So here it is moving into your 12th house. So as you can see, you had a new moon here. Now it's time for Mars. So when Mars is in the 12th house, this is a very good time for working independently on certain projects, goals, ideas. We can really focus our energy when we work on our own. Not the best transit for group work, because groups might generally, or too much stimulation might drain you quickly. So watch out for any patterns during this time connected to burnout, for example, exhaustion. If you feel like you need a break, if you feel like you need to get some fresh air, go for it. Your body, listen to your body. Our body is the best communicator, messenger. So listen to those signals. With Mars in the 12th house, Mars can repress our energy, our anger especially. So make sure that you implement a regular exercise routine during this time to maintain good health and, of course, well-being as well. Now with Mars in 12th house, this is a good time for physical activity, martial arts. And your dreams might be more vivid than usual during this time. You might experience insomnia every now and then. Don't have to, but you might. And with Mars here, you might be working on a project, on an idea, goal, something that perhaps you're not ready to tell others about, something that you're not ready to release. So lots of internalized energy here, and private energy as well. But it's a really good time to focus on what really matters to you in the private sphere of your life. If you feel restless, which could be the case, because Mars in Gemini can create racing thoughts, for example, or perhaps a tendency to overthink. So during these sort of moments, perhaps take a nice shower or a bath, go for a walk, recharge yourself, refocus. The ruler of Gemini will be retrograde for the first 3 weeks of Mars in Gemini transit. So at the same time, try not to push anything brand new off the ground in these initial 3 weeks of Mars in Gemini transits. I would say the first 2 weeks of July and 2.5 weeks, because of course Mercury retrograde favors things that have already been initiated prior to the actual retrograde. Anything new and fresh, well, it's just going to carry the Mercury retrograde flavor to it, and it might not work out the way you want. But at the same time, it's a good time for revisiting, re-evaluating things from the past, perhaps returning to projects, ideas that you didn't have a chance to complete. A Mercury retrograde will start on the 29th, and this retrograde will begin at 26 degrees of Cancer. So this is happening in your first house. It will begin in your first house. It will end in your first house. So a really, really great chance to review, reassess the direction that your life is heading. A good time to review your goals, your objectives, your dreams, especially since at this point, you will be coming to an end of the Jupiter in Cancer transit. So think about what Jupiter brought for you, what opportunities, what expansive opportunities it has brought, what decisions did you make, what new projects did you start. Here, Jupiter is almost about to leave this area of your life, your first house of Cancer. And at the same time, Mercury retrograde wants you to pause and slow down and review, reassess. Don't rush into the next idea. Try to work with what you have established. Try to enjoy and fully dive into what has happened in the very recent past so that you can actually enjoy your next project. This could also see you completely re-evaluating your career direction, your life direction, returning to some unfinished projects, ideas, goals from the past, reconnecting with people from the past as well. Of course, this will depend on your circumstances, but at the same time, on the day of this retrograde, we've got a full moon at 8 degrees. So here, full moons are connected to turning points, culminations, and the full moon usually illuminates what's working, what isn't. It brings clarity. So this is happening in your 7th house. So that's your area of relationships versus you. So any imbalance in these dynamics will come up to the surface for sure. It will become more visible, and it will be brought to light. But at the same time, full moon in the sign of Capricorn in your 7th house, this is connected to your one-to-one connections, one-to-one relationships, but also contracts you have with other people. It doesn't only have to be your love relationship. It could be, for example, a contract with your dentist, and so on. So here, something is coming to an end, culmination, something's coming for a review. This could be a turning point. Think about these important relationships in your life that might be generally needing your attention. Something needs to be addressed. Especially focus on the relationships with people with whom you feel like there has been already a build-up to a certain extent, and the full moon could be the culmination, the turning point. Capricorn is connected to structure, order, anything lacking structure, anything that was built on a rocky foundation will be especially asking for a review during this time. Now we end the month with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, abundance, growth, entering the sign of Leo. Leo is a fixed fire sign, and this is happening on June the 30th for 12 months. This is your area of money. So this is your money, your income, the money that you earn through your own efforts, through your own skills. This is your year of growth, your 12 months of growth. And of course, with Jupiter, it can go both ways. Yes, there will be financial, or there could be financial opportunities coming up for you, without a doubt, especially since Leo and Aries connect beautifully. So that's your 2nd and 10th house. So Jupiter will boost your career prospects, opportunities as well. But at the same time, watch out, because there could be also some expenses, or maybe your taste might become more expensive, and you might be also investing in different areas of your life. So it's also essential to maintain a healthy balance in this area. But overall, with Jupiter entering the sign of generosity, this is a really good time for growing financially, for improving your financial situation. Here, Jupiter in Leo could bring opportunities for financial growth, abundance as well. Maybe a new income stream, maybe a new business or career advancements, for instance, as well. But it's not just about your money, it's also about your sense of self-worth, which will be boosted in a positive way. And also your resources. Maybe this could be about some investments, some resources. You might be getting some new resources that could simplify your everyday life, daily reality, since Jupiter rules over your 6th house. All right, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much, Cancers. Have a great month, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.